Turn on my video. What happens if I use the other camera? Just so I know for next time. Oh, look at that. That camera works too if you want to look at my mother. Turn on my video. What happens if I use it? All right, guys, good morning. We're live on YouTube. I know it's a little different than you're used to, but one part of the market is getting used to different things. Welcome to our morning market update. It is Wednesday, February the 4th of 2025. I'm so exhausted today. Uh, Yesterday we had a really good webinar. We're on and live with our new order flow live room today, and we're actually going live from it. And it's exciting. There's a whole bunch of tech challenges and issues, and it kind of kept me up. I'm not going to lie to you. But here's the scoop on today's session. We're going to just get through the news stories and get right into the trading plan for the day. So here are the catalysts, and the team here in the trading room is going to see the same thing as the broadcast, just confirming. Okay, good to go. All right. Here's the vibes. So this morning, government shutdown ended. The data calendar is normalizing. It wasn't a very long one, a couple of days, but it did throw off some of the data that we had expected to see. One of the big ones is this Friday. So we're not really sure what's going to happen with the non-farm payrolls. That's kind of a big question with this shutdown. But we do know that it probably won't be on Friday. It will probably be rescheduled to next week. That was one of the biggest data points. But after Trump signed a 1.2 trillion spending bill overnight, the government shutdown has ended. So the shutdown has shut down. Essentially, Labor Department, all agencies resume normal operations February 4th, and today's focus shifts on ADP, and ADP came out this morning. The numbers from ADP for January were 22,000 jobs versus an expected 48,000. That's a miss. And the ADP report is typically a good precursor or a good early look at the non-farm payrolls report that comes out 2 days after on the Friday, but not this week. So the jobs report on the ADP was a miss. It was a pretty big miss at that as well. Like I said, 22,000 jobs versus 48,000 expected and 41,000 prior. The low end expectations were 10K, so it was above the low end, but still towards the low end of the expected numbers. Not a good thing. Let's see if the jobs report confirms it, and we'll have to wait for that until next week. All right. Donald Trump and President Xi held a call, according to Chinese state media. We don't know what was said in that call. I'm just kind of scouring the news, see any kind of update, and I don't see any at all. So on that front, one second, pardon me. On that front, there's no updates. I'm keeping you posted, and I do think this could be one of those things in today's session that ends up being a big kind of tape bomb. A tape bomb being something that impacts the session out of nowhere that you have very little control over. This is a tape bomb risk for whatever was said on this call, and it's strange that it was reported from Chinese state media. So keep an eye out on that. Anything breaking or updates on that could have market impact, especially if it's trade talk related. All right, futures in the U.S. S&P's up 1/10. NASDAQ is pretty much flat. So is Russell. There's a lot of tech pressure from AI chip concerns and renewed pessimism, I guess you could say. AMD pre-market is up. It crushed earnings for Q4, so that's a good sign. China is undergoing a security review. So for NVIDIA chips and not placing H200 chip orders, that kind of hurts NVIDIA. NVIDIA is down. I'm looking at Mag 7 and Tech at the moment, and seeing weakness on Meta, obviously weakness from NVIDIA as well, going into the pre-market and open. So Mag 7 is kind of rolling off. Gold rally extends up 2.3%, back above 5,000 an ounce, and that's looking good. Data out of Europe this morning, we have some CPI data or inflationary data. It comes out at 1.7 versus an expectation of 2.0. So it is a cooling inflation. So it kind of helps. It's interesting though, global inflation is cooling, but it doesn't really matter that much because it's not US based data. Today's catalyst, 8:15, we already had ADP. 8:30, we had Treasury refinancing numbers. 10 a.m. we have ISM services. So top of the hour, expect to see some market movement around that. ISM is a big number. and it's important, especially if it deviates a lot from expected results. All right. Earnings after the bell, we have Alphabet, ARM, Qualcomm, Uber, and CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange. We'll see how much they're making off of traders with their data fees. All right, that's that for that. Let's close out this screen. Let's turn off the video and let's get into the trading plan for today, which I'm hoping you guys can now see on the screen. Trading room, can you guys confirm you can see it on the screen? I will. I'm gonna fix the chat issue right after. I guess we're gonna have to use Q&A for now. Ready to roll. Good job. All right, well, you guys can see it perfect. So, here's the plan, okay? And I always put up these notes because it's important for you. And I put these up in our community on Circle too, Trade Pros. And I'm going to break it down for you like this. Before you have a plan for the day, you kind of have to know the story, the context of the day. How the heck did we get here? And as you tell yourself the story in the market, when you go to do the trading plan, it's pretty much done for you. All right, so let's get in and look at yesterday's US session. We opened yesterday around 7,009 area. Okay, I could zoom in and tell you, but price moved so much, I got to zoom out to do this update. But we opened up here, 7,009, yeah, confirmed. We saw a slight rally to 70.17, barely a rally at that off of the open. All right, and then the bears just started hammering this thing. When it broke 7,000, we started to see some MBO and order flow telling us that, you know, this offer is real. Like there's no one in here actually trying to buy this thing. So we're looking downward and we say, well, where the heck is our flip zone, or where's our next support? I told the team in the room 69.80. Oh, I don't know, maybe like 69.45 if things get crazy. Well, things got really crazy because we got all the way down to 86.25, which is double what my crazy number was. All right, bears took firm control, and we just kept plunging until we set the PDL. PDL is prior day low. All right, so prior day low gets marked here at 86.25. Pardon me, I forgot one thing. Record to cloud. I don't know why. I don't know why I stopped dead in my tracks. Remember that. I don't know. It's something about the prior day low. But the prior day low was 86.25, and that's a really big extension and move. But we were still within 21.75 points or 22 points of the low on February 2nd. So despite all this selling, we couldn't put in a new structural low from where we've been. And I'll show you the range in a second. If you zoom out, you'll see how counterproductive of a level this really is. All right, buyers put in a strong bid off the lows to rally and end the session at prior day cash close. So this is a pretty big and strong rally. It was really noted from the 90 to the 40 area, so 50-point rally to close out the session. And we closed that session out with 130.75 point daily range. 130 points from the open to the prior day low. You don't see that every day. You don't see that very often, in fact, on 1.94 million contracts. So heavy movement, heavy volume, firmly bearish there across the board. All right, so what happened overnight? What's the story there? Well, the overnight session was in a tight range. You see all this volatility in the US session, you expect to see some kind of action overnight, but it's usually the opposite. The bigger the US session move, the more sideways and range bound the overnight tends to be as we consolidate, unless this is news driven. If it's news driven, it's a completely different story. But why? Well, we're getting some compression, consolidation, where we need some time to kind of sit down and rethink what we've done. But the overnight story is pretty simple. We set the low at 69.31 O&L's overnight low. All right. And the overnight high at 69.65 O&H. All right. It's just a 34.5 point range and 163,000 contracts traded. And that was at the time of when I wrote the note, it's now 193, another 30,000 have traded. All right, so we have an overnight consolidation session that's within the range of the prior day. What does that usually tell you? What do you think that tells you? Think about this. If we are seeing the overnight session compressing into the prior day session, what this tells you is prices are starting to consolidate a little bit, and the overnight price action is staying within the range. The other thing is telling you it's not fresh price. you're kind of in beaten up territory already. The grass here isn't green. The grass is starting to turn brown. There's footprints in the snow, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of traction around here already. All right. Um, so yeah, we have a consolidation, the priority range, no expansion, and price action is smack dab in the middle of a 200-point range. And you say 200-point range, George? What are you talking about? Well, let me show you. Kind of got to see this chart. Look at this thing. So this is December 18th, this day here. A really nasty low. We rally up, retrace, rally up, pull back, rally up, get smashed. All right. Maybe it's not bullish. We can't put in a new low, though. All right. Get back up, rally up, pull back, rally up, just barely break a high, get smashed. Rally up, fail 3 times, get smashed again. Rally up, get smashed 3rd time. Like, you're getting some equal highs, but these lows are starting to get higher and higher and higher. You're getting higher lows. And at some point, I think we break, but it just goes to show you how big of a level that 70-30 is. And there's a lot of gamma there, massive, massive gamma. So let's do the trading plan for the day. It's pretty simple. And I'm here to tell you that today's not going to be an easy day to trade. Yesterday was much easier getting on the short. That's fine. We're just going to have to take trades that make sense and be a little more patient. That's all it means. The flip zone moves from 70-30, which was up here. All right, moves all the way down to 69, 75, 80. Why do I like this level? There's a lot of delta here. There's some option activity for expiration too. There's some two prior tops. And most importantly, this is kind of where we got extremely downside from. I think the pullback into this 7,000 area and, or sorry, 69.8 area, I think the pullback into it was kind of expected. But I think the real shock came from this continuation down that kind of caught everyone off guard on the day. So I think fair balance is around 69.80. If you look at what I wrote here, notional gamma minus 283 million, 283. All right, and zero gamma for the ES is 69.53. So 53, because it's zero gamma, is also a big flip zone. I almost consider doing the flip zone at 65, but to be honest with you, I don't want to really get long until it gets above 80. I'd rather find short opportunities and see what order flow confirms. All right, that's the trading plan for today. Good luck. Trade Pros on YouTube. Love you guys. I know it's been a little different today in the setup. I'm gonna work on it till we perfect it. One of the big differences is before we could set the YouTube. Let me just go in the YouTube window real quick to see some of the comments. But one of the big differences before is that you could set the YouTube video up before the fact, and then I stream into it. But with Zoom, I can't really do that anymore. I have to just stream in with Zoom, which means it'll start at 9 a.m. I promise you every single day. There's not going to be a link beforehand, but there is a link the moment that we go live because that's when it's generated. Does that make sense? I basically have to click live from within Zoom to go live on YouTube now. I'm going to try to see what technology solutions are. It's 2026, right? Like you would expect there to be some kind of tech solution to this problem in this day and age. But that's what we have here. I hope. Let me see what you guys are saying on YouTube. Morning, Prashant. What's going on, Prashant? I didn't realize you left, brother. I wish you the best. Happy for you. And yeah, miss it. William said, good morning. Good morning, William. Joseph, how do we get to the room? I haven't received any notification of its existence. Joseph, are you in Circle, Joseph? Jammer, you could see the freaking you could probably see the circles under my eyes, huh? It's not a good look, bro. It's not a good look. I don't recommend aging and lack of sleep to anybody. Joseph, buddy boy, let's get you into Circle. Go into Circle and go into Live Room Calendar, and you should have the link. Joseph, I'm sorry, bro. Let me see something really quick before we get started. Trade Pros in the room, hang tight with me. You know, we're just getting into the process. The first 1 or 2 days are kind of rough. But what we're going to do here in the room after we end the YouTube is to jump in and look some order flow stuff, some key order flow levels from yesterday and the MBO. The MBO is shaping up to be absolutely nuts right now. It's a pretty crazy day. It's revealing some good downside. But Joseph, could you send me an email, please, brother, man? Like, did you go through the checkout and everything went through? Oh, Vic's Sierra chart setup? I don't know where Vic's Sierra chart setup, but I think it's in Discord. I'll look into that for you. Earth Goddess. I see. Okay, Joseph, message me, email me right now. George, my first name at thebusiness.com. Oh, I see what happened. I see what happened, bro. Send me a message there. Let me get the Oh, you emailed support. Okay, great. Support will take care of you, brother. Love you, and we'll get you in there. We're gonna get to the trading room. It's being recorded. It'll be up on there. You need circle access for all of it. We'll work with you. I'll talk to Donna, and we'll get you on board. We'll try to do it for today. All right, YouTube. Appreciate you all. All the best. I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope you don't mind the new format because this is how we're gonna roll from now on. 9 a.m. It's just gonna go live. You get notifications, and it's all gonna be fine. And Danny, love you all. Have a great day. You too, and goodbye. Trade pros, hang tight in the room. Let's get this cracking.